All right, good evening once again. Let's just start. So like I said, I wanted us to look at cadjpy. I want us to start right from the monthly chart. Okay, we're going to start right from the monthly chart so that I walk you down on what I saw and how I was expecting price to play out. Okay, so now this is the monthly chart. When you look at the monthly chart here, you discover that price was on a bullish trend. All right, price was going up. Now we know that if price is heading for a buy side liquidity, which was this area here, once it is taken, okay, once this liquidity is taken, we are going to expect a retracement. All right, we are going to expect a retracement. Now, price was in a bullish move right up to the buy side liquidity and then a retracement started to happen. We had a flagship reversal candle, all right? This candle taking the low of this one and closing bearish. And then furthermore, we had another CB down, another BC down here, which was the main draw on liquidity. Okay, but that's a little bit far from the current price action. So now when I zoom in like this, when I zoom in, I notice that here again we had this CB here. Okay, this CB, the low of this candle and then the high of this candle. That's our CB. It's a fair value gap, but since it's on the downside, it's a CB. All right. So we are expecting the reaction of price on this area. This is a POI right from the monthly chart. So we are expecting price to react on this level. All right, and maybe push further down. Now, why I was expecting price to push further down, if you can use your Fibonacci zone, taking this clear drawings, taking this as a high and then as a low, if you pull your Fibonacci from here to here, you discover that around this area, this is where the equilibrium of this range is. All right, which means that we can have a deep correction down to somewhere here before maybe retesting these levels here, right, before price can continue up. But now the more reason why I was bearish on this cadjpy was because of GPY index. Remember, GPY index is just like the dollar index when it comes to euro USD. So when you look at GPY index on the monthly chart, you discover that it has been dropping ever since, right? It has been dropping for years, and then on November 2022 we had a bullish month. Okay, November closed a bullish month, and then now December again went further bullish, leaving a fair value gap behind. He left a fair value gap behind, which was what I was expecting price to react to. Okay, so because of this, I was expecting GPY to be bullish, and if GPY is supposed to be bullish in a pair of CAD GPY, we are expecting CAD to be selling. All right, because here GPY is against CAD. I think I've explained this more than enough times. Please, I'm in another class, so surely just take the video record. All right. So when GPY is bullish, we expect cadjpy to be selling. All right, we expect cadjpy to be selling. So here I notice that cadjpy here has to be bullish. So when I go back to cadjpy now, I'm looking for reasons to be on a sell bias. So you notice that cadjpy here simply had just the opposite of what GPY index had, right? So from here now, I'll be going down to the weekly time frame to see, to zoom out things, or trying to refine my POI. Okay, so when you go down to the weekly time frame here, you notice that price already filled this CB here on the weekly. Price already tapped into this CB, no, though it's not completely, but price already tapped into it. So now this candle here, this up candle here, it's going to act like resistance to price. Now, I once said this in one video, I can't remember. I once said that when price is dropping, okay, if price is on a downtrend, especially on higher time frames, any up candle against this down movement is going to be acting like a resistance to price. Okay, which means that as price is dropping down, and then you see a lone up candle. This up candle is going to act as resistance to price. You will resist price and you force price to continue down. Now, the same thing, if price is going up, any down candle that you see is going to act most of the time as a support to price, okay, which is likely going to be a mitigation block or other block. All right, so in a space of a long move like this lone candle here stands as our mitigation block. All right, now this was my POI. Okay, this was my POI from the weekly chart. From the weekly chart, right? But remember, this is inside the monthly CB. This is inside the monthly CB. So I'm refining this order block inside the monthly CB. All right. So now with that in mind, I'm going again down to the daily time frame. Now, my focus here now is just to see a reaction. All right. It's just to see a reaction on this particular area. I'm not going to be focusing on refining at here again, all right? Because refining on my left again might make me to miss the opportunity. Are you trying to get what I'm saying? If I'm refining here again, I might lose my opportunity or price might stop hunt me and still go my direction. All right, I've already refined from monthly to the weekly. So all I can do now is just to look for bearish signals on the POI at this point. Remember, this signal is coming from a higher time frame, so I won't be expected just to look at 1 minute and so on, because just from here, this particular day already gave us bearish movements on the smaller time frames, but that wasn't enough. We are looking for a bearish move from a higher time frame. Okay, we are looking for a bearish reversal from a higher time frame. So when I spotted this as price came into the weekly order block, this is what we call a flagship reversal candle. All right, this is a flagship reversal candle, and as I said, as price dropped this much, this up candle is going to act as resistance to price. So price came back to the order block here, to the daily order block. All right, and then I'm expecting a sell on this particular area now. I know you said that anything, John. That's first thing I learned from you. Okay, great. So at this point now, price took the high of this candle, took the low. That's a flagship reversal. Some people call it a engulfing candle. All right, it's still the same thing. There are so many types of engulfing candle. But when price takes the high and low of a candle in a particular POI, especially on a higher time frame, it's a good signal, right? It's a very good signal. So I saw this, and then you mark out. This now becomes your order block. This now becomes your order block. All right. Mr. Fidel just confirmed that I said this end in 2021. Yeah. So this now is going to resist price. It's going to act like resistance. All right. Now, if you notice here, you will see that at this point, this is my daily order block, right? But now the low of this candle, I want to show you something here. The low of this candle, the moment I'm looking at price, I've seen price has already taken the high of this and is about to take the low of this candle. Now I can send you a signal that if the low of this candle is taken, it means that our bearish IF has been confirmed. Yeah, it means our bearish IF has been confirmed. Now, how would you be so sure that our IF is confirmed just by price taking this low? Now, price taking this low is going to confirm a bearish reversal pattern. And when you go down to a smaller time frame, you will notice that we are already also having a break of structure on that particular area. Okay, you will notice that there's going to be a break of structure in that particular, the low of that candle is going to be a break of structure as well. So let me see if I can see that here on the, where is that area? Okay, I think there's it here. All right, it's not really that much clear here, but you see this is the low of that particular day. Price took it, and this here is the open of that other block. All right, so from here upwards, from the open of this upward, it's our POI. Okay, it's going to be our daily POI. It's going to be our daily POI. Now, this is a daily order block zone. This is the daily body of that order block. Price took the next day, price took the high of it, and then it took the low of it as well. Okay, so at this level now, this is our POI. We're going to be looking which zone do we have inside this POI that is going to give us a signal for entry. Okay, now if you're a person that you are scared of too much refinement, immediately price comes back to this fair value gap, you can just sell with good risk management, and you put your stop loss right at the high here. Remember, I said flagship reversal and also my invalidation, in the sense that if price wants to take back the high of that flagship reversal, it means we are not going bearish. Okay, we are not going bearish, and that's my invalidation. Price might even play along here with me. Price might be taking my stop loss here up and down, up and down. If it doesn't clear this high, I'm still going to be bearish. All right, that's the importance of your reversal, your invalidation zone. Price can be playing around this area, but so long as it doesn't take this invalidation, I'm still going to stand still with my bearish move. All right, that's when you determine your IFM on a higher time frame. You need patience. Okay, you need patience. You are not just going to get moved with what price is doing here and so on. Okay, so that is what we get from we had that on the daily as our flagship reversal, and then we're expecting price to retest that other block and drop, and this is where the retesting came back to. Right, price came to retest, and then we had a nice CB here that price came back to it. And before price came back to it, it was forming something like an AMD pattern. All right, it accumulated, manipulated into the fair value gap, and then we had a long distribution down. Now I'm going to just remove drawings. I want us to do something. As price came into the fair value gap here, okay, if you are afraid of putting your stop loss right up at this level and you want to refine more, okay, you want to refine an entry on this area before you sell, then now you can start going to time frames like go to 1 hour. If you don't see anything on the 1 hour, you can go again to 15 minutes. All right, let's go and see what we can have there. Remember, we're just trying to refine. We're just trying to refine our entry, okay, to have less risks in the market. So here is the 15-minute chart. Let me see what do I have here. I want to see if you're going to have any setup here on the 15-minute. Now, I'm going this down because we have already noticed a reaction from a higher time frame. All right, price already gave us a signal on the daily with our flagship reversal. So we are now going down right down to the 15-minute. Remember, we spotted the POI from the monthly chart. We saw a reaction on that monthly level on the daily time frame, and then going down now to smaller time frames like 15 minutes. I mean, on the 4 hour, we saw a BC. So this is the reaction that price came into the BC. Okay, now at this level, I noticed price took out this low. Okay, this is the last low that caused this huge move into that BC, of the 4 hour. So immediately price took this low, my bias to on 15-minute was changed. All right, this was already a break of structure for me. And now, where did the move start to break structure? If you look here, you will notice that we had this fair value gap filled already. All right, so there is no reason for price to go back up to this level again. So which level will I be focused on? I have only this up candle here. Remember what I said at the beginning, in a long bearish move like this, any up candle you see will act as resistance to price. Okay, will act as resistance to price. So now here is, we are going to take this candle as our bearish order block, and that's where we're going to have our entry. Okay, your entry can be there. I will not want to advise anybody to put a stop loss as small as this. Okay, you can put it here, because on this 15-minute time frame, this is my invalidation. Okay, if price should want to take this high, and then I want to sit on my hands and see what will happen next. I want to see what will happen next, all right, before I take any other trade. But remember, I said price here inside this can manipulate you. all right, manipulate this other block, maybe retest back this one again before selling. So you have to be very careful. You know that your stop loss should always be in a place that is going to be your invalidation zone. I'm on a sell on GJ. All right. All right. So your stop loss should mostly be on a swing low or swing high, which is likely going to be your invalidation for that particular entry time frame. All right. So if I'm taking a trade from this other block, my invalidation is this. If price should come back up to take this, I'm going to sit down and wait, all right, until I see another structure shift before I now take another trade, having a clear invalidation level to put my stop loss in, all right. So from there now, price started dropping, and so on. Let me bring back my original markings. Oh, there is no need even. Let me go back to the weekly chart. Let's see the target. So as price was dropping down here, this is the main target, okay? This is the main target. This is the main target. But when you look on the daily chart, you discover that we have a low, the low of this doji here on the weekly chart. This weekly, the low of this doji on the weekly chart, which is this one. This is where the low was found here. Okay, so price came down, took the low. Now, this is what just happened on that sell, what we had here. Okay, this is the same thing that happened here. You see price giving this flagship reversal, coming back to retest the other block. Exactly the same thing that happens here. See this flagship reversal, and then you see how price came back and retested the other block. All right, it's the same thing. See here, it's the same thing. Price gave a flagship bearish reversal, came back and retested the bearish other block. Now, this was already on a bullish move. You will know that these highs, as price is coming to take all these highs here, this is a bullish move for price to come right up to those levels. Yeah. So now, as price took this low, for somebody that is a scalper, okay, because normally we know price doesn't move on a straight line. All right, but we have this as our target, but we're going to have internal liquidity taken and so on. So on the 5-minute chart, you can have some scalps here after price took out this low. Let's just look and see if we can have a level here. All right, now looking at it on the 5 minutes here, I noticed price took out this low. Okay, price took out this low, the old low, as I showed you on the daily chart. On the daily chart, after taking that low, price gave us a huge expansion of creating another fair value gap. All right, created another fair value gap. And this candle here, this last down candle, is an institutional candle. I think I made a video on this, or I've been explaining this some time ago. This is an institutional candle, a candle taking stop losses, right? This is a last down candle that took out stop losses, and then price traded above it, becomes an institutional candle on a lower time frame, which means that if you are buying because of it, you are not going to be swinging the trade. All right, it's just going to be a scalp because you are seeing the setup happening on the 5-minute chart. All right, so I could take my entry from the fair value gap. My stop loss would be down here. Why is it down here? Is because this is my sell invalidation, my buy invalidation. If price is taking this low, at the meantime, I'm going to sit down and watch what will happen next. All right, my target here will be this fair value gap here. This will be my target. Okay, this fair value gap. Why? Because I'll be looking at this high as an inducement to that level. Okay, so as easy as that, you're going to be having a 1:3.37 risk reward ratio. Now let's go to 15 minutes and see if we could see any confirmations from here. 15 minutes. Okay. Nothing much from the 15-minute charts. Nothing much. Let's go to now. If you look at 5 minutes here, you notice that all we could see there was just an institutional candle. We could just see an institutional candle there, but we haven't seen a break of structure. Okay, so it's the same thing like having a flagship reversal that we saw on the daily, and we didn't see a break of structure, right? So now we're going to go down to a lower time frame to see if there is actually a break of structure around this area to support our buying bias, right? Remember, here is just like some kind of a flagship reversal. Okay, in a time frame like 8 minutes or 7 minutes, you're going to see that. So let's go to a time frame like 1 minute. Remember, this trade is like a scalp. All right, I was just saying price took out bearish sell side liquidity and it's giving us a retracement to continue the down move. All right, that's why we are on lower time frames like this, trying to look at an entry. So now when you look at it here on the 1 minute chart, you discover that we had a beautiful break of structure here. This was our BMS. That's a bullish BMS. We had a bullish BMS here. Okay, here, and then price came back down to that fair value gap on the 5 minute chart. All right, now why wouldn't you be expecting price to drop further down here again on the 1 minute? If you look here, you discover that everything here is efficient on the 1 minute chart, right? Everything here on the 1 minute chart is efficient, and until this fair value gap, this is the level of the fair value gap from the 5 minutes, but inside the fair value gap of the 5 minutes, we had another small fair value gap from the 1 minute chart. Let me make this one blue. Okay, so this was on the 1 minute. This is the fair value gap on the 1 minute. And with this move, this is the only place that was inefficient here. So that was going to be our entry. All right. If you take the trade from here on the 1 minute fair value gap, your stop loss somewhere on this low, right? Because there is actually no need for price to come lower than this. Everything has been balanced. Or to be saved, you can still put it here. Like I say, this is my invalidation. This is the low that has my invalidation. Okay. Because like I said, price pulling your Fibonacci from here to here, price might still manipulate. This reaction was only on the 50%. Okay, you could still have some manipulations down to the 618 optimal trade entry before we go. And imagine if you could have your stop loss tight on this low here, it might be taken out. All right, so a quick lesson on that is always put your stop loss where your invalidation is. If your stop loss is too wide, it's rather you don't take the trade, or you wait for price to drop further down, or you try to refine price and wait for price at the lower level. Okay, normally in a price range like this, okay, in a price range like this, you will always want to see price come back down to the discount level before you buy. All right, if you draw your Fibonacci, or let me use this Gantt box so that we have the 50%. Now, if this low here is, if this is your invalidation, if this is your invalidation level, and you want to take a trade, a buy trade from here, suppose, which means that your stop loss have to be down here, right? But remember that this here is still at a premium. If you are buying here, you are buying very expensive, which you always want to wait for price to come down to a discount, all right, to a discount level before you can get your buys. Now, if price is to drop down to this level, that's going to be a fair price for you to buy something. Okay, it's going to be a fair price for you to buy. And if you're buying here now, you have a smaller stop loss on your invalidation low. Okay, so for those that always complain price hitting my stop loss, always try to identify your invalidation zone. Your invalidation level should be there, and you should have reasons for putting that invalidation there. Like I said on the daily time frame, that like we said on the daily time frame here, as I spotted this flagship reversal, I said this high is my invalidation. Okay, this high is my invalidation. Why is it my invalidation? I'm expecting this flagship reversal to work. If it doesn't work and price is taking the high of it, it means that my expectations were not correct, or my expectations are not going to work. So this is my invalidation, and that is it. Immediately price takes it out, I'm off the trade. Okay, I'm not going to be looking for sell opportunities. I would rather sit on my hands and wait for price to show me something clear. All right, because for some people, immediately price takes your invalidation, they will start looking for more ways to sell. And although price is making higher highs, they will just be shorting. Price is trying to make higher highs, you are just selling because you don't want to accept that you did something which wasn't right, or the market proved you wrong. All right, remember, the market is always right. You are not going to get this 100% all the time. Okay, we might be explaining that price is dropping down to clear this liquidity. Meanwhile, the main aim of the market is to buy from somewhere and then come back to retest some levels here, and all those things like that. So give room for uncertainties. All right, give room for uncertainties, but have your invalidations. If I'm buying from here, targeting this high, then I know that the low of this flagship reversal candle is my invalidation. Okay, so I'll buy from here. I'll be trailing my stop as price is going on. As simple as that. But if this candle should have traded down and taken this low, I'm going to sit down and wait. Is it that price wants to come down to this level, or is just a stop hunt? If I discover there's a stop hunt, which means that on a lower time frame, I'm going to start seeing which means that on a lower time frame, price might give me a reversal pattern. After taking this low, it might give me a reversal pattern. That's when I'm going to buy to have this move. But if price taking this as my invalidation with this move, then price is trading around this area, I'm going to sit and wait. Okay, because the more you are forcing buy orders here, price might want to take this sell side liquidity, and you'll be caught up blowing your account. All right, so once price takes your invalidation, you have to sit on your hands, sit on the sidelines, watch the reaction of price, watch what price is doing. Is it just manipulating or whatsoever? With that, you have a clear mind. You don't have to rush it. Okay, you have to sit still, and then you see what price is doing. So like I said, I wasn't supposed to make this video long so that the recorded version won't be too heavy for you guys. All right, so I will make you guys to speak. Just take some few questions from few people, and then we'll call it a day today, and then we'll wait for tomorrow. Okay, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and then you ask, or you have some contribution, something to say. This is the floor now. We have like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, yeah. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Somebody said it's on a sell on this GPY. It's buying beautifully from this daily fair value gap here. I think you can see that, yeah. See that buy move after price, see this fair value gap going down to 5-minute charts. Awesome. After price fill the fair value gap, what happened? These things repeat, guys. These things repeat. This is the high of this move that tapped into the fair value gap. It was taken. That's our BMS right there. We call it bullish BMS. That's our bullish BMS right there. And what happened? Price traded back down. Price came back beautifully back down to the BC here. Let's put the bottom right, okay? just as price tap into the daily fair value gap, you put your stop loss here. This is your invalidation for this time frame. Okay, invalidation. That's your invalidation for this time frame. All right, and then boom. This looks like equal highs here, right? So this is buy side liquidity. This double top, that will be a target. That's how many risks you wrote. That's 1 to 9 arrow. This is a simple bread and butter setup. Very, very simple. No stress. Your POI from the daily charts, price tap into the daily fair value gap, gave you a bread and butter setup on the 5 minute. You are in, and that's already over how many pips? This like triple tops here. This price is going to clear this out, as I guess. See. So we might just have something like this. Boom. Clear this out. I'm unable to unmute myself. What? I've said allow participants to unmute themselves. I think you can unmute yourself, okay? Says host is not allowing participants to unmute themselves. Advinci. Shit. Okay, try to do that now. Let's see, Alvin. Please do fast so that you have just 2 more minutes.
Okay, so good evening again.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes. So about the flagship reversal candle, please, I would like that you remind me, because severally price has taken out my stops because I've seen so many flagship reversals which I've struggled to take my trades from, and eventually it has been a fake one. So I don't know the best time frame for me to always take. Is like 1 month is the best time frame for flagship reversals, or what?
It's mostly higher time frame, the daily and the weekly, the monthly charts. All right, daily, monthly, and weekly charts. That's what I can say. Now, even on small, they are going to be fake bearish. They are going to be fake flagship reversals on both sides of the market. Okay, you can actually be having a bullish move, but you notice price creating a bearish flagship reversal. Right, so you don't just enter a trade based on a flagship reversal that you have seen maybe on air or it's hanging somewhere. You just take the trade. No. All right, like for example, let's just look at this one. Let's say this area here, price was retesting this other block, but now if you look inside this level, you will notice that price gave you a bullish flagship reversal here on this time frame. This is not going to work because it's against the overall direction. It's against the overall IOF in the market. Are you trying to understand? So flagship reversals, they work in line with IOF. Even your other blocks, they work in line with IOF. This is a good order block here, but it did not hold. Why? Because price was on a down IOF. You understand? Now look at this one again here. This was actually a bearish flagship reversal, but it didn't hold price for long. Why? Because